if you're having trouble with your takeaway or any other part of your stroking your putting, it might be because you have a setup fault. And in today's video, I'm going to go over some of the most common things that we see when it negatively affects your putting. So the setup in your putting obviously is extremely important because it's going to dictate how you move throughout the stroke in a very similar fashion that your setup is going to dictate how you swing a golf club or how you hit your chip shots. If you set up correctly, you have a much improved chance of making a sound stroke and sending the ball off in the direction that you want to. So there's a couple things in putting that we see that we've learned over the decades that have really seemed to help people, and now as more technology and more research has come out about biomechanics and all these other things, neurophysics, we have a better understanding of what needs to be done regardless of your style of stroke. So whether you like to take what you think is the putter more back on an arc, or you like to take it back straight through, that's not as important, at least for this video, as getting you to set up correctly to swing in either one of those strokes that you want to. So the first one is what you want to do. In the event that you might have a putter that doesn't fit you, whether you got what you were told was custom fit, more often you're custom screwed, that putter could negatively be affecting you. Most often, putters nowadays, at least in our opinion, from the data that we've seen, and the hard data and empirical data, is putters have become much too flat, meaning they've come down to 70-degree lie angle, 69-degree lie angle, and some have even gone down to 60. That often is going to bring the putter shaft down too far, which means it's going to push you further away, or it's going to get you bending over too much. And as many of us age, most of the people who would be watching this video on YouTube, it becomes much more difficult to continue to bend over and either practice your putting for extended periods of time, extended meaning, let's say, longer than 15 minutes, or it's going to cause disruptions in your stroke. First and foremost is if your putter is too flat, it's going to pull your hands too close to your body. Now you can see that the line from my shoulder joint, the middle of my shoulder joint to my elbow, is actually inverted, meaning it's coming closer to my body and it's not hanging straight down from my shoulder. Now what happens in that instance is, as the body seeks to have some realignment and some equilibrium to itself, that elbow is going to try to realign itself under the shoulder, but it's not going to get there and just stop during the course of your stroke. So what's usually going to happen is the stroke starts to move away, and then momentum keeps it going. At some point in time, the golfer will try to reroute the putter, especially if they see that putter head moving outside their target line, and then they try to reroute it back in. Again, that is usually caused if a putter gets too flat and or too short, gets too close to the golfer, the upper arm comes back too far. That's one thing. So usually either get your putter, test a putter that's a little more upright if you can't get down to see us and get properly fit, or try a longer putter, but get your arms to where they're hanging from you. So the easiest way to do this at home is, if what you want to do is you have your golf ball and you're going to set up to it as if you would a putt, and get as absolutely comfortable as you can. Let your arms hang wherever they're going to hang, and then go ahead and set up from there. Now from here, you're going to dock the putter, meaning you're going to put the grip into your hand as if you were going to hit a stroke. Now obviously that would illustrate that I'm much too close to the ball. So what I would have to do is back up about 1 or 2 inches until the sweet spot is aligned with the ball. But now I am in my body's comfortable natural state. Arms are hanging, and my stroke has a greater chance to do what I want it to do, as opposed to trying to set up to a putter that doesn't match me and I'm like this, and then I'm going to do some quirky things throughout the stroke. So that's the first one that we see, where the putter again gets too flat and or too long, or a combination of both, that gets you out of sorts. The next setup position that can get flawed to some extent, but there is some degree of variability depending on the type of stroke you use, is going to be your ball position. And we have done many videos on various things in ball position and putting. So if you haven't seen those, we can put a link to some of those down in the description below for easy access. But basically, as the putter moves throughout its motion, as it works in multiple directions, it works up and down, and obviously it works on it. If it stays in plane, it works slightly to the inside, back to square, slightly to the inside again. So where the putter is going to bottom out to the ground or start to level out as most of the average golfers on the world are about 5'8", I'm sorry, 5'9" give or take an inch, which means they're going to have a 4.5-foot radius or a 9-foot diameter. That's not as important as far as the physics for you to understand, but what is important to understand is with that type of radius and or diameter, as your putter bottoms out about right in the middle of your stance, you're going to have approximately 4 inches, which is about the length of one putter head from heel to toe. So put the heel at the middle of your stance and you put the toe forward, that would be from approximately the middle of your stance to the inside of your target side foot. You can have the ball, if you have an arm stroke where the arm is working across the body and parallel to the target line. Some of you might call this a straight back and straight through stroke. It would be more of an in-plane stroke with a straight back or straight moving arm. That ball can be anywhere within that 4 inches because the putter face is going, the tangent is going to be down to the ground. It's going to be slightly lifting to the thickness of about 1/4 and a dime, and the face will be square to that target line for that 4 inches before it starts moving up and to the left on its path. So that is on your ball position on an in-plane arm stroke. You can have the ball anywhere within that 4 inches because the club face is going to be square to the intended target line. Where you can get a little off, where you have to have more precision in your ball position, is if you use an in-plane shoulder stroke, which will keep the shaft perfectly in plane the entire time. That is employed by more golfers or taught by more coaches in the modern game, where the shoulders are going to do all the work. But when that happens, if the putter stays in plane, there is going to be what appears to be more of an arcing, somewhat similar to your full swing. The putter will move more to the inside. It will come back to straight. It will not be on the target line as long as an arm stroke, and then it will come in its forward stroke and then obviously up into the inside. The reason that the ball position is more precise on that is because the putter stays in plane and there is more of what would be deemed an arc to the stroke. So you can use either one, but within the shoulder plane stroke, the back of the ball would be either at the middle of your stance or within maybe a ball width to the target side of that. Never, never, never does the ball position get to further away, or for right-handers to the right side of the center of your stance. So I hope those two things help you in your setup and your putting stroke, allows you to make more putts more often. If you have questions, feel free to post them down below. Send us an email. We'd be more than happy to help you with your putting and the rest of your game. Hey everybody, thank you for watching another one of our videos. If you found this useful and used it in your game, don't forget to click that like button and let us know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to check out our podcast, one of the hottest podcasts in golf, Golf 360. If you'd like to watch another one of our videos or subscribe to our channel, you can do so right over here.